Hello, good day. My name is N20million, and this short video is to show the analysis of how you can generate 20 million in 2019 from football betting. This is very simple and very straightforward for people that are open-minded. Yeah, I'm 100% transparent with this, and so there should be no cause for alarm here. So you are going to come along with me, and I'll quickly do the analysis for you and to make you see how very feasible this can be for us in 2019. Now, first and foremost, this is my website www.oddsplus.com. That is my website. The membership fee is 30,000 naira per month. So, what do we do on oddtrueplus.com? This is this website, my own personal website, where I share the games for you to stake on daily basis. We have a staking plan. I'm going to explain that very soon now. So, you register with oddtrueplus.com. You activate your account for 30,000 naira for 30 days. Then you have access to the member area. You can just come in and log in. Then the game for the day, we upload it around 12 a.m. in the morning. Now, the games I upload on Auto Plus, I'm not claiming to be a tipster, but I've spent so much on making money from football betting for the past 5 years before I was able to discover some tipsters online, the ones that are very genuine. Many of them are not genuine. Don't be deceived by the record you see on their site. They show you winning like that. It doesn't work that way. By the time you subscribe to them, that's when you know their true color. So, but one of the few genuine ones that I've found over time is on betpredictions.com. Betpredictions.com. Then you can come to the archive. I'm going to quickly explain one or two things about their archive here. Now, on betprediction.com, their tips, their service is very expensive. We have this category, the double bets. So that one gives an average of 2 odds per day. They charge €700 for this. €700. 700 euro is almost 300,000 naira. And this treble bet, they charge on 900 euro for it. That 900 euro is like 370,000 naira. So now, how many people will be ready to go ahead and pay this kind of money just because you want to get the tips to use? There are many scams on the internet, so many people are very scared of this. So, but someone like myself, that I know the potentials that are that is in getting a very reliable source that can make you a lot of money, which one can easily scale up. I spent a lot of money to research before I was able to discover this site. I don't just discover a site, I will have used for like 3 months before I'll be able to ascertain maybe they are genuine or not. In the case of Bet Prediction, it was a friend from Kenya that actually gave me the link to this site. He has been using for almost a year before he gave it to me, and I was able to confirm from him that they were genuine. And I also used it for a while before I was able to also confirm that they. So now this is the deal. I subscribe to their double and the treble. That cost me €1,600 per month. That's almost 700,000 naira per month. That's what I pay to them. So it is the games I get from this bestprediction.com that I share on my own site or 2plus.com. So there are two things involved there. I was able to do the research for you. The research you're supposed to be doing to be testing one tipster or the other on the internet and wasting a lot of money. I've done that, and that is off it. I've saved you a lot of time, stress, and money in doing that. Now, again, the second thing is that I've also saved you a good amount of money instead of you paying huge amount of money to get the tips. That alone will scare many people away. Many people will not be able to afford that. I know. Now, instead of paying up to like 700,000 naira to use their double and treble, you are just paying 30,000 naira on or 2plus to use the double and treble. So I'm just like a broker on Auto Plus. I've researched so well. I was able to come up with a source that I think and I know that is doing very well. They are trustworthy. Trustworthiness is what is the first thing we do for any tipster. We don't want a tipster that will give us record of winning, whereas they are always losing. So we can always work with um, a trusted tipster because the record on the site, we can be able to formulate our own strategy that we'll be using in winning with the record they have there. So that is why it's important to have a trustworthy source. So we found that in bet prediction. Now, straight to the point, how to make 20 million in 2019, going by all the details we have from this side. Is very, very feasible. Now, this is what I do. Look at, like yesterday, we had a winning yesterday, the double and the treble one. Our strategy is to combine the games from the double and the treble. So, and that gives us an average of 6 odds per day. 3 odds from here times 2 odds from here. That's 6 odds per day. So what do we do with that? 6 odds per day is something very huge. If you have 6 odds per day, if you are able to win just 6 times in a month, we'll be in profit. We'll definitely be in profit already. Now, let's come here. Let me show you this. So we are on how to generate 20 million naira in 2019 from football betting. Now, coming here, I was able to extract their winnings for 2018. In January 2018, they had 18 winnings. When I say 18 winnings, it means the times that the double and treble won together. That is when we achieve our 6 odd in a day. So the time that the double and the treble won together. So it was 18 times in January 2018 that both of them won together. It's very rare to see that kind of run. That's an insane run. It's very insane. No other month in 2018 was that achieved. So now, how do we calculate how much we made in that month when such happened? 18 winnings were made. Some people doesn't understand my table here, so I'm going to break it down. So let's assume that we are staking 10,000 naira per day. That's one other thing. Staking 10,000 naira per day. 10,000 naira per day. So it means that for you to stake 10,000 naira per day, you must have 100,000 naira or more in your account. 100,000 naira or more in your account. I mean your betting account. That's your capital. So we are using 10% of our capital to stake per day. I hope you understand that. That should be the very, very core thing you have to note. You shouldn't use more than 10% of your capital per day. Not more than 10% of your capital per day. Now, so 100,000, 10,000 is and as we proceed, maybe from the second month, third month, we even reduce it to as low as 5% of our capital. We want to be safe, we want to be on the safe side. Now, if you are using 10,000 naira per day, that means that each day, each winning will be 10k times 6 because it is 6 odd times 6 odd. So that is equals to 60,000 naira. So each time we win, we have an average of 60,000 naira. So you can imagine in January. So January they had 18 winnings. 18 winnings. So that means January, that's 60,000 naira in 18 places. That was the amount of money that was made in January, 18 places. So when you multiply this, that was like 1.2 million minus 120,000. So that's like 1,080,000 naira. So that is the amount of money that was made in January. But how much was invested in January? There's amount made and amount invested. So amount you invested in January was 10,000 naira. You are taking 10,000 naira per day, 10,000 naira daily times 31 days. They have 31 days in January. So the cost for January is 310,000 naira. That's your cost for January. You are taking 10% of your capital, which is 10,000 naira per day. And the revenue for January, like we explained above there, is 1,080,000. So that means the profits for January, profit then is equals to 1,080,000 minus 310,000. That is your profit for what's it called, for January 2018. So 770,000. So some people doesn't understand my table here. Anyway, the profits are so this is the point. I calculated the point. So times I was taking amount, which is 10,000, you have still achieved 770,000 naira. Now, going by this table and going by my calculation, it's easy for you to calculate now. Fine? Okay. Now, you will see, I now want to make it very, very achievable, so that it won't be like maybe we did some calculation that is not even reasonable at all. Let's look at it. The maximum number of wins for January was 8, and for 2018 was 18 wins in January, and the lowest was 5 wins in September. And the time we were doing 5 was 1 in September. There was no profit, there was no loss in that month of September. So throughout 2018, there was never a time that we made a loss in any month. We didn't lose our money in any month. The worst scenario was in September, where there was no winning. Now, look at this: 18, 11, 16 wins, 15 wins, 10 wins. Now, what if I now say, okay, let's assume we are winning at an average of 8 winnings per month. 8 winnings per month, average of 8 winnings per month. You can see that in this year, it was only 3 times that there was less than 8 winnings in a month. So let's say, okay, for 2019, we want to put our winning at average of 9 winnings per month. Average of 9 winnings per month. So this is what will happen if it is an average of 9 winnings per month. So let's say we're starting with 100,000 as well. We're staking 10,000 naira per game. For each winning, we achieve 60,000 naira. So let's say average of 9 winnings. So 9 winnings. So for a 9 winning, that's 60,000 times 9, and that will give us what? That will give us 9 times 6 is 54, right? So that will give us 540. So let's say 9 winnings, we had 540,000 average. We are assuming that we are starting from February now. January is almost gone. So from February now, let's say, sorry, did I say 9 winnings? I'm trying to calculate for 8 winnings. Sorry. So for 8 winnings, average of 8 winnings per month, that's 480,000, right? 480,000, 8 times 648. Now, cost for the daily is on 310,000. Okay, so revenue is 480,000. 480,000. So we are assuming, okay, for February, this is based on assumption, but this assumption is reasonable because we are gunning for a figure that is even lower than the average number of wins that was got in 2018. Okay, so 480,000 minus 310,000, so we have 170,000. So we are assuming this is February, right? February 2019. February 2019 profit is 170,000. So now, we are going for 20 million. Okay, fine. We are going to do this calculation and it's going to be interesting to you. So if you are starting March 2019, March 2019, our new capital will now be, we started with 100,000 naira, right? 100,000 naira when we started in February, plus profit of 170,000 naira. So our new capital now is how much? That's 270,000 naira. I hope you get that. So our new capital is 270,000 naira. Now, our daily stake, if we maintain the 10%, daily stake will now be 27,000 naira. That's 10% of our new capital, 27k. I hope you get that. Now, if our daily stake is now 27k, and we say, okay, March 2019, average of 8 winnings. We are putting our average at 8 winnings. There'll be months that it will be more than 8, and there may be months that it may be less than 8. But because our calculation is based on this reasonable minimum average, then at the end of the day, we are still going to achieve our target, or even achieve more than that if there are more good performance. So 8 winnings. Now, daily winning now will be how much? So, daily winning now, each time we win, will now be 27,000 times 6, which will be what? 27,000 times 6 will be 162,000 naira. So each time we win now, we win 162,000 naira. So now, next thing now, okay, we have 8 winnings. So that 8 winnings for that month will be 162,000 times 8. Please, this thing is very simple to understand. It's very simple. There's no gimmick about this. You can calculate it by yourself. So 162,000 times 8 will give us 1,296,000 naira. So that is the revenue generated for March. So the cost for March now will be cost. Maybe we are taking 27,000 naira per day times 30 days. No, 31 days. You have 31 days in the month of March. So 27,000 times 30 days. That will be our cost for the month of March. So that will be 837,000 naira. So our profit for March will now be the amount generated 1,296,000 minus 837,000 naira. So 1,296 minus 837. So we should have 459,000. So our profit will be 459,000. I hope you get that. This is very simple to calculate. So now for the month of April, now we come to April. So our new capital will be amount we started March with. We started March with 270,000 naira, and we profited 459,000 naira in March. So our new capital now is how much? 270 plus 459. So that should give us how much? 729,000. So our new capital now is 729,000 naira. That's our new capital. So now from the third month, okay, there are some times that we have a long losing streak. There are times from these our bet prediction that we have had like 16 losing streaks, losing 16 times on the stretch. But in that month, you were still able to drop some profit. So because of this, we want to play safe. We want to play safe. So at least we want our risk to remain at our first 2 months. From the third month, we want to know that we are not playing any risk, because now we are dealing with money that will be some each money. So from here, we can go for using 5% of our capital. If you are using 5% of our capital, that means that you can stake for 20 times before all your capital can be drained. You can stake for 20 days. So now we can go for 5% of our capital. So let's say we are using 30k now. 30k to stake daily. Daily staking amount from here. Let's say we are using 30k, 30,000 naira. Now that means that each winning now will be, each day you win, it will be 30,000 times 6. 30,000 times 6, which will be 180,000 naira. So each winning now is 180k. Do you understand that? Yeah, each winning now is 180,000 naira. So let's say there was 8 winnings in the month of April. So April 2019, 8 winnings, that's our average. So our revenue for that month will be 180,000 times 8, which now give us 1,440,000 naira. Now we want to see our cost for that month. So cost is 30,000 naira daily stake times April as 30 days. So that means our cost is 900,000 naira for the month of April. So profit for the month of April will now be what? 1,440,000 minus 900,000 naira. That leaves us with how much? That is 540,000 naira. So we are left with 540,000 naira. So we are moving to a new month, which is the month of May. May 2019. Our new capital now will be amount we started what's it called? Amount we started April with. We started April with how much? 729,000 naira. April was started with 729,000 naira, and we made a profit of 540,000 naira. So our new capital is 729 plus 540. So that should be 1279. Let's say 1280. So that's our new capital for the month of May. So using 20%, using 5%, that's like we have to run for 20 days before you can exhaust our money. So we are using 5%. So 10% of this is 10% is 128,000. So 5% will be 64,000 naira. So daily staking amount, daily stake is now 64,000 naira. So if daily stake is 64,000 naira, now I'm going to pause here and quickly do the calculation so as to save time. So I can just scroll up for you to see. So I will pause here and do the calculation for you to just see. Yeah, welcome. So where did I stop? I think I stopped at was it March? Okay. We calculated for February. I think we've calculated for March already. And at the end of March, a profit of 459,000 naira was generated. So in April, what we do is the capital we use in starting March 270,000 plus the profit that was made in April 459,000. We add it together. We have 729,000 naira. So from this month, we we didn't want to use we are no more using 10% of our capital. We have reduced it to like 5% of our capital. So that's why I just brought out the 30,000 naira. 30,000 is still less than 5% anyway. So we're using 30,000 naira. At least we can go for 21 days before we can exhaust this money. If all things being equal, it will never happen. Yeah, like I told you, at the maximum it has gone before was on like 16 or so. Now 30,000. So each winning day will be 30,000 times 6, which is 180,000. So let's assume 8 winnings was gotten in April. So that is 180,000 times 8, which is 1.440 million naira. Then the cost for April was 30,000 naira times 30 days. You have 30 days in April. So that's 100,000. So profit for April is the total amount generated 1440 minus the cost, which is 900. So we have 540,000 naira for April. So for the month of May, we started April with 729,000. We have to add it to the profit that was made in April. So we have new capital of 1,280,000 naira. So 20% of this is on 640. 5% of this is 64,000 naira. When you divide it by 20, you want to go for 20 days at a stretch so that your mind can be at peace. So 1280 divided by 20 will give you 64,000 naira. So that's 5% of your money. So each time we win, it will be 64,000 times 6, which will be 384,000 naira. So, and if you have 8 winnings that month, that will be 384,000 times 8, which is equals to 3,072,000 naira. So the cost for the month is on 64,000 times 31. You don't have 31 days. So 64,000 naira daily for 31 days will give you 1,000,000 naira 84,000. So profit for that month obviously is the amount generated. The value for the 8 winnings is 3,072,000. That's what we have here, minus the cost. That's 64,000 times 31 days, the cost of staking for that month. So we achieve a profit of 1,088,000 naira for that month. So to calculate for the next month, which is June, it will be 1,280,000. That is the amount we started May with, plus the profit that was made in May, 1,080,000. So we have new capital of 2,369,000 naira. So what will be our new daily stake? Well, I use 100,000 naira as our new daily stake. Normally it's supposed to be 5%, but this is even less than 5%, because if you are saying 5%, it is 5% of 2 million naira, that is 100,000. You understand? But we have 2.3 million naira here. I just wanted to use a round figure here so that it can be easy for calculation. So 100,000. So this amount means it can carry us for 23 days. 23 days. Using out of 2,369 million naira, 2.369 million naira. If you are using 100,000 naira per day, it can carry us for 23 days, and all things be equal, you don't expect any bad thing to happen. So we are on the safe side. So each time we win at this amount, that's 100,000 times 6. Each time we win, that will be 600,000 naira one. So if there were 8 winning in that month, that's 600,000 times 8, which is 4.8 million. So the cost for the month is 100,000 times 30, 30 days. So 3 million naira would have been the cost to take for that month. So the revenue for the month is 4.8 million and the cost is 3 million. So when we find the difference, we have 1.8 million naira. That's the profit for the month. Now, jumping to July, we are going to start July with the month we started June with plus the profit of June. So we started June with 2,369,000 and the profit for June was 1.8 million. So total now is 4,169,000 naira. So from here we can work out a daily stake of 200,000 naira. Yeah. 5% of 4 million is 200,000. So you can work out the daily stake. So each time we win now, it will be 200,000 times 6, which is 1.2 million. If you have 8 winnings in that month, that's 1.2 million times 8, which will give us 9.6 million. So the cost of staking for that month will now be 200,000 times 31, which is 6.2 million. And the profit will now be 9,600,000 minus 6.2 million, which will be 3.4 million. That's 3.4 million will be the profit for that month. So for August, the amount we started July with is 4,169,000. The profit in July was on 3.4 million. So the new capital now is 7.5 million. So for August, we are starting with that 7.5 million. So I used 300,000 because I wanted to use a rough figure. 5% of 6 million is what gives us 300,000. So with this 300,000 compared to this capital, that means we have even expanded our coverage. So our risk has been limited here. So 300,000 naira out of 7.5 million, that should cover us for like 24 days or so, or more, like 25 days. Now, daily winning now will be 1.8 million each time we win. 8 winnings in the month will be 1.8 times it will be 14.4 million. If you have 8 winnings in that month, that will be 14.4 million. So the cost for the month is 300,000 times 31, that's 9.3 million. So the profit for the month will be 14.4 million minus 9.3 million. So the profit for the month of August will be 5.1 million. Now for September to start, August we started with 7.569 million and the profit was 5.1 million. So total capital now for September is 12.6 million. So still retaining our daily stake of 300,000 naira. We have gotten to a point that we don't have to increase our daily stake now. We want to play very safe now. So no increasing our daily stake again. The maximum calculation takes our daily stake to 300,000 naira. So we shouldn't go beyond that. And for some people that will be like, how will I stake 300,000 naira on the football betting platform, blah 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 like that? Will they accept it? That there are people that stake as much as 700,000 naira on a game. But if you are thinking that okay, maybe how will you do this? You can have two different accounts. You can be staking 150,000, 150,000 by the time you get to this level. It's as simple as that. You can open one for yourself and one for your wife or your girlfriend. So you use your own to play, you use the other one to play. And if you don't trust your wife or be your girlfriend enough, then you open one for your child or for your brother. Now for the month of September, so the calculation was done and the profit gave 5.4 million naira. So when we add that for October, when we add that to our capital, that takes us to 18 million naira. By the time you calculate the profit, blah 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 like that, you get 5.1 million naira. So at the beginning of November, 23 million naira is the capital we are looking at the beginning of November. So the calculation we did now is for February and we started with 100,000 naira. So if you are starting with 50,000 naira, following our, that means your first initial staking will start with 5,000 naira. For 100,000 we started with 10,000 naira. I hope you understand the calculation. So if you understand the calculation very well, so if you are starting your own with 100,000 or with 50,000 instead of 100,000 naira, so it means it will be at the beginning of December that you will hit this figure that we have here. It will be at the beginning of December, not November, because there will be a month difference there because you started yours with 50,000 naira. So here is it. All things being equal, you can go check the record of bet prediction and see if they can give us exactly this, because the calculation is based on winning average of 8 games per month. When they win 8 times per month, that is when we achieve this. But if you come over to 2018, no, it's not easy to judge performance based on the past performance. It's not easy to judge. The present performance may be better or maybe poorer than the previous one, but at least it should give us an insight into what the new year should look like if this can be achieved in 2018. Unfortunately, I didn't have the 2017 record. The 2017 record is also as good as this. So you can see these 18 winnings alone here for this month has even given us profits for almost 2 months running without, you understand. So if you now look through, it is only in this month, and this month, just in 3 months, that they fail to achieve 8 winnings, just in 3 months. And the other month they achieve even beyond. So all things being equal, then we should be able to balance it up. And this figure we are talking about, 20 million naira in 2019, should be easily achieved. But please follow the staking plan. I said if you are starting afresh for the first 2 months, that is when you can use 10% of your capital. As from the third month, drop down to as low as 5% of your capital. 5% of your capital for daily stake. So thank you. This is Balagade Adetunji, and I will indulge you if you have taken your time to go through this, to play around on betprediction.com to see the number of times they've won the double and treble together. You can now calculate your own table for 2018, for 2017. Then that can give you an informed information on what I'm talking about, if this is trash or if this is something that is reasonable. Then when you are ready, come over to achievable.com and register and join us immediately. You know, the calculation there was done from February down to November or wherever. So that means you have to join as early as possible so that we can move together at the same pace. So come to achievable.com, click on the registration button, register. You'll be prompted to pay your registration fee of 30,000 naira per month. You pay it per month. I also pay to best prediction per month. I pay almost 700,000 naira per month. So that is it. 20 million naira in 2019. It is very much achievable. If you are open-minded, then we can make it together, and at the end of 2019 we can have the cause to celebrate it together. Thank you, and do have a lovely day.